Yeah, this is also really interesting though, coming from Boston University. Karma isn't, he doesn't have a lot of sustained CC, unless Whammer and Hazelnut Coffee are aiming to go for a Flash W stun. And Rankle hopefully has to have the reaction time here. No one quite in
Got
range
the
yet though.
poke a little bit from both Karma and Vars, trying to see if they can get in range to do a little bit more. They get the flash with the Mantra Q. And that flash being down for Rankle, that's a huge cooldown burned early on.
And pretty much when you're invading with a Karma, that's what you're expecting, to at least get one flash off of the enemy. So Boston University seems to be perfectly content with that. But I think by investing, like when you invest 5 members here, you lose a lot of the possible vision control you have of your top side. So right now you see My Name is Ty already has that ward up on the rates. I don't think he's going to be trying to go for the red steal. He is positioning it at the moment, but Coffee is walking over there to see if anything fishy's going on.
It does seem like it will just be the simple ward and back off from Tai. The one thing to remember about Xin Zhao is, while good at dueling, it's a little early into the game. Xin Zhao would like some items in order to better be equipped into the Nocturne matchup.
Yeah, but since now looking that the Nocturne is starting on that blue side, the Varus and Karma are going to be a little bit late to the lane, and hopefully that gives Wrinkle and Alpha Andrew just enough time to sort of hit that level 2 and relieve some of the pressure that's going to inevitably come from this giant poke lane already happening.
And that's one of the problems for Rankle and Alpha Andrew. When you have the melee support matchup into the range matchup, even though they got there first, look at the control that's already come in from Unstoppable and from Trill. They already started gaining control of the bot lane.
Yeah, and again, one of those main issues with Alistar is his level 1 is incredibly weak because, you know, while he does have a massive knockup, he's got to get to the enemy first. And he can't get that without his headbutt. So, yeah, Alpha Andrew gonna have to sit there and just hope he can get level 2 without any of his members dying.
With Forever Hunter already pathing down towards the bot lane, looking to try to see if they could go for an early gank, punish the fact that the Xayah doesn't have flash anymore, does mean that they have to play very safe underneath the turret, but it allows Tai to go onto the red buff, go for the horizontal split of the map.
Yeah, and Forever Hunter, because of that ward on his red, he sees that as well. He's going straight for the red buff of My Name is Ty as well. So it's going to be a pretty much, as you said, a vertical pathing for both these junglers. But I think Your Name is Ty is the one who is initiating sort of these kinds of jungle trades, which I think Forever Hunter, while content with it, it's going to be a little bit risky because now he's forced to be playing around the bot side of the map where lane's already ahead.
Whammer did spot out the fact that Ty was on the Raptors. Will spot him out and force him away, but it does seem like it's not going to help out too much because Forever Hunter, having been able to get the red buff and also the entire Raptor camp, now sitting here, prime and ready to take down Tai.
Yeah, I think now Xin Zhao and Forever Hunter are going to be able to find each other here, but it's a level... Oh, well, now it's a level 3 to level 3 advantage. But I'm not sure that the lethal tempo Nocturne... I think he wants to take that trade because he does have that attack speed to work with, but he has the support of his pushed-in laners, so he's going to be able to back off there, no problem, with an overall CS advantage after all of that.
I'm more surprised to see that Forever Hunter didn't go for the all-in. With the fact that both mid and bot were pushing into their opponents, that could have been a trade that this Nocturne would want early on, even though you normally don't think of Nocturne as needing these fights, but instead he decides to go mid lane, try to see if they can get the flash out of Corki, and Zagreus losing that cooldown is going to be pretty big, but look at top lane. That's first blood against Hazelnut. This was the lane they drafted to win.
Yeah, even with the Conqueror there, Renekton just didn't seem to have the consistent DPS. He's got a lot of burst, considerably with all of his abilities, but Sion just, with the Resolve tree plus the shields available, it's going to be really hard, it's really hard for Renekton to kill Sion.
Ooh, flash in from Alpha, looking for Unstoppable. Trill having to use the heal. Tai gets the knockup with the 3-point strike. Needs one more auto, but the shields are there, almost saving the life of Trill until Rankle was able to get a couple feathers into his head.
Yeah, and at that moment there, the all-in potential of Alistar does show through. When you have a massive knockup and the amount of CC he provides, you do keep the fight sustained for quite a while, and that gave My Name is Ty the time he needed to go down the bot lane. Trill was just not expecting it at all, forced to burn both his summoners, but My Name is Ty just going to follow up with his summoners as well. And when you're playing in that defensive of a way, you're going to be losing out, and getting the knockup there was super key for My Name is Ty, otherwise you would not have secured that kill.
When we look at how this bot lane is going for the side of Boston, this is a poke lane where you know you're going to be constantly shoved in, but no wards at all to secure vision. They had no clue that Tai was there, and it's not like Tai took a very tricky path in order to get that gank going. He went right through the tri-brush and just wasn't spotted out.
And I think at that moment now, Boston just sort of thinking to themselves, you know, how are we gonna, like, what happened here? We drafted these lanes to be winning early on, but our top laner just dies. It's solo killed by the Scion, who's only gonna get tankier. And then the bot lane, you know, is getting ganked. We didn't have Forever Hunter anywhere in position to try to contest this at all. And now, you know, he's kind of just farming up, but only level 4. He's got to be hitting level 6 really soon, considering how much pressure he's kind of relieved from the other lane.
For the side of Boston, they're trying to wait to scale up. Once they have level 6 for both Whammer and Forever Hunter, that's where I'm imagining the trigger's going to be pulled. Whammer already ready to make that roam possible. Especially if they can make that into the bot lane, that would be huge for Trill and Unstoppable.
We're also going to be getting the package soon for Zagreus on the Corki, and that's going to be really exciting because I'm interested to see how he decides to use it. Whether he is it whenever the package is up, or he's just going to start saying, "Hey, I'm coming in with my package." But in the meantime, in the top lane.
In the top lane, trying to see if they can get that Unstoppable onslaught away. He had to flash in order to make sure nobody could body block him. They will survive.
Yeah, so that's actually really good there still for Forever Hunter. They got 2 major cooldowns, but you know, without getting a kill, Hazelnut Coffee they either have to contest a dive possibly onto Spork, which is going to be really difficult.
Ooh, flashing in the bot lane, and again, very little vision to notice that Tai was already passing into the area. I'm going to go down once again to Rankle, even though they keep shoving in this wave.
Yeah, and at that point now, even though Boston University did see the Xin Zhao coming in with the pink ward, Alpha Andrew just going in with the flash engage, and with that amount of CC he has, keeps Trill in the fight. And again, Varus, no flash and no escapes available for him. Just gonna die with trying to kill Rankle for itself, but Rankle able to not get baited there. And you know, they secure the kill for the Xayah, which is, you know, what they want. They want the Xayah to start scaling as fast as possible. And in a lane where we were expecting her to just struggle, she's even with CS.
I'd say it's with a grain of salt that we have to kind of say that Rankle is doing well, because it's more on the fact that Tai has been able to get some nice ganks into the spot lane, as well as Trill and Unstoppable not putting down the proper vision. They had a control ward in that brush, sure, but you need to have it in the tri-bush, and that's going to be a problem. But look at this. Going to be able to get out of there with the Valkyrie for now. That's a lot of damage. You're going to go down Forever Hunter. You just gave a free kill to Zagreus, and this actually might be a double kill. He comes out alive.
At this point now, Boston just kind of in a desperate move there. Forever Hunter, you know, tried to take an extra tower shot there for Whammer, but ended up dying for it. And then Whammer just committing so hard. But he's a Galio with a Catalyst. You don't have a considerable amount of damage still, and especially with Aftershock, and you don't have a comment or anything like that, all the damage has already been used, and the only thing left to kill Quirky with is your auto attacks. At that point now, Boston University just going a little desperate and not paying off at all.
Just mistake after mistake, unfortunately, for the side of Boston University, and Becker College doing a great job to punish it. Bot lane, they've been punishing it, use that to get themselves the Cloud Drake, then mid lane, Zagreus being able to get the double kill in a 1v2 situation. This is a huge lead at nearly 9 minutes into the game for Becker College.
Yeah, the best situation they could have had given the drafts that were going on. But I think there is still some hope, obviously, for Boston University. They drafted this team comp essentially around a strong engage with Nocturne, Galio, and even the Varus to start off these fights. Now the only question is how are they going to stop losing so much gold? Because right now, Trill's going to get caught again.
Caught once again and constantly too far up. He doesn't have flash up yet. It's still barely off of cooldown. They give a killing spree to Rankle.
Yeah, and again, that's just what Alistar is capable of. When he goes in with the engage, he keeps you stuck in that same area for so long, and that gives My Name is Tai the time he needs to just walk up and just flash, or not even flash, but just jump onto Trill. Trill's flash had just come up, essentially, and there was no way he was going to be able to make it out and burn his summoner spell again, so this is going to be another bot push here for Becker. They're probably going to go for turret.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually were able to get it off of this minion wave when you have a Xin Zhao and a Xayah both wailing away on the turret. Even though it's that healthy, it's still going to fall. And
in response to this bot pressure, Forever Hunter is just hanging around the top side, not even contesting the Rift Herald, it looks like. They're going to be trying to see if they can get a kill on the Zagreus, who currently doesn't have the package on. My bad.
I think he was more just trying to answer that roam potential that Whammer was looking for, because that could have been an engage if they wanted to, but he didn't have Forever Hunter. Like you said, he's been playing around the top side of the map. He was looking for that pick onto Spork, and just now it's starting to Rift Herald.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get it looks like, so they'll at least get that objective. And since the bottom turret, did not fall. You know, they do have that objective to work with still, but that might just be so that they can bait Trill into another kill again.
And still, Trill and Unstoppable haven't even tried to contest vision around that tri-bush. There's been this control ward there by Alpha Andrew for the past 4 minutes that they haven't been able to clear.
And at this point now, I think they have to wait until Forever Hunter decides to make his way down bottom, because if they have the Nocturne plus the Galio ulti on top of the Varus ult, they can get a really good engage, and that should result into a kill, no matter who they hit. At the same time, it looks like they're trying to really go for this poke lane, which hasn't really been paying off.
Hasn't been paying off, though. They are looking like they might be able to. No, they back off of going for the tri-bush vision like they would have really needed to in order to make sure that they can stop Ty from just setting up this tent in the bot lane. He's been punishing Trill.
Get caught here.
But it is Alistar. Here comes the Chain of Corruption into the Unchained. He's able to knock up Forever Hunter, but he's rooted. He's taking a lot of damage still. Rankle might be able to actually do some work to be able to turn this back around, but here comes the extension to deny Rankle from being able to get the kill on the Forever Hunter. Ty not in the area just yet. He might be able to look for the wraparound, but not if Rankle gets himself caught out by the taunt. Zagreus just a little bit too late to the party. Does have the package, goes for the slow on a Trill, finds Trill, looks for Forever Hunter, who's getting the shield from Unstoppable with a double kill coming in from Courtney, and they flash forward on a Whammer. That should be the kill on to at least Unstoppable. The poke coming in, missile after missile, finding its mark, but it will be the movement speed from Unstoppable, barely able to get away from the fight.
Everything up till the point where Zagreus flies in with the package went perfectly well for Boston University. Sport was TPing down into the lane, but Hazelnut Coffee just dashed in there and just hit him with that W stun, canceling the TP. So you already know that there's one laner not going to be able to support them, but they just weren't expecting My Name is Ty and Corky to be so close because they invested so much time killing Rankle. They do get the kill, but they trade 2 for 2, and what was a 2 for 0.
It's going really well for the side of Becker that they're constantly able to pressure the spot lane. Like we mentioned before, the poke lane of Trill and Unstoppable, not able to stop Ty from constantly coming into the spot lane. Even though they do have that good initiation of Forever Hunter and Whammer, if Ty's there, if Zagreus is able to rotate just as effectively as Whammer, you've already cut away a lot of that engage potential.
And a lot of it now just stems to which engage becomes more effective and which one is providing more results. The Nocturne Galio jump in, or just the Alistar WQ. When it comes to the success of these engages, the level of success shouldn't be the same when it comes to these ultimate abilities and a combo that's off every 10 seconds. So right now, Boston University is just, I think they either need to be picking their fights a little bit with more vision around to know where the enemy is and secure, kills of 2 or 3 people if they're investing 4 of their members.
Forever Hunter now playing around the bottom side of the map, but Ty's flips the script. He's now towards the top side, takes the blast gun over to get these Krugs, and there could be a potential dive. There is the ult still for Hazelnut, so they gotta respect the fact that this Renekton can trade it pretty easily, but instead they are going for the dive with Unstoppable Onslaught. Here comes the Dominance just to give a little bit more health, but that's a lot of damage coming in from Ty, and Spork is taking this up for days. Just needed one more auto, but wasn't able to get it. They were too afraid of losing Spork.
Yeah, no, I don't understand why Ty decided to back off. The turret was just about to change targets onto him, but Hazelnut Coffee was about 2 or 3 auto attacks away from death. One wind becomes lightning would have been enough there. And with that dive, though, looks like Boston University want to contest for first turret with the Rift Herald.
Could it be the Rift Herald taking it? Did a lot of damage, but this is Xin Zhao as well in the top lane. No, they back off. The teleport from Hazelnut will deny them, and Boston get first brick gold.
I think, honestly, I was kind of harping Hazelnut's choice here with the teleport, but it seems it saves his team first turret, and because he was able to survive that dive, it secures, the top turret as well. So now Boston University, they have essentially control over this bot side jungle, including the dragon, which is an Infernal Drake. I think both of them would be pretty happy about that one.
Definitely would, but we have to keep in mind, even though the gold looks like it's been more equalized between the two teams, a lot of that is still in the inventory of Boston. So if the fight were to break out right now, it would heavily favor Becker.
Also interesting to see in terms of the item build, the Nocturne has opted to go for the Devourer upgrade instead of the Warrior, which you traditionally see on Nocturne. But instead, looks like in the bot lane.
Bot lane, here comes that all in. Featherstorm to deny a little bit. They got the headbutt back for Forever Hunter. Trying to see if they can get that Blade Caller. They have a lot of damage. The Ignite's burning. Just needed one more auto, but the Heroic Engine might be able. Ty showing up into the battle. Same with Zagreus. Trill cut away from the rest of the team. In fact, you look at Boston, they are on the wrong side of the map. They can get collapsed on by Becker unless Hazelnut's able to say something otherwise, because he's already shown up into the bottom lane with Alpha taking a lot of poke coming in from Whammer. They're trying to see if they can chip away at the health bar of Galio, knocked back by the Crescent Sweep. With Hazelnut going right in, he's bounced around for quite some time, does not have the ultimate just yet, has to back up. Both teams are going to be able to survive this with a 1-for-1 trade.
When Boston University started chasing down Rankle so heavily, they left Trill alone because the Galio ulti was used onto Nocturne, who was running away towards the enemy base, and you have Karma, who was also following up with them. Once Trill, like, essentially, Boston University kind of left Trill for dead there, while Becker was able to jump in with the Xin Zhao and the Corki, who already saw their targets sighted onto Trill. And then, as you said, Hazelnut Coffee did not have the ultimate there, so even if they wanted to go in and try to turn this fight around, they couldn't. Hazelnut Coffee was not tanky enough, going for the Black Cleaver for his first item, and he also missed his dash, so he didn't have a way to get out. So that was a really dangerous, kind of a mini commitment there by Boston University, but they managed to get out of there with no extra deaths.
The only thing is they did lose the tier 1 in the top lane. Spork, never having teleport up, just decided to wail away on the turret, even up some of the gold, continue this lead. It's actually forcing a lot of damage onto Hazelnut, and constantly getting these decimating smashes to connect. Has unstoppable onslaught, but nobody being here doesn't really have that much of a kill threat onto Hazelnut unless he wanted to burn the dominance.
And I think also at this point now, if Spork is going to be going this kind of style with the Scion, you might as well do it. But looks like instead, Zagreus getting caught out.
Caught out, has the package, but that amount of burst when you have so much poke does help out. Trill actually jumped on by Ty. Does have a turret nearby, but unstoppable. Getting hit up by the 3-point strike. Just needs one more hit, and with Forever Hunter being a little bit too late to the party, he's not going to be able to help out. Whammer decides to complete the teleport and look for the talk on to Alpha. What? Again, they don't really have the kill threat. Everyone else has been poked out. Trill could not join the battle. And
Trill there kind of getting himself, or at least getting Unstoppable killed by walking into the remaining pack, the small little area of the package that Zagreus was able to pull out, and that slow was massive. He was pretty much rooted in that same area, and my name is Ty, just saw the opportunity to go for it.
Forever Hunter was trying to clear out the minions in the mid lane a little bit, but almost got jumped on by Alpha. Now we look at how everything's transforming. That's a 2-5-2 Trill. You already mentioned it before, the positioning not necessarily being what you need, but because of it, he's falling behind from Rankle, who is going for the crit build. Instead of going for more of the on-hit, such as Trill, it means it will take a little bit more time for Rankle to scale up. Now, how do we see this going around this Infernal?
Yeah, there is need to Gwynsuits at this point of the game in order to really match the damage output of Rankle on the Xayah, with already has Stormrazor. And the Blade of the Ruined King is sure it's a nice item, but it's not. It has to be supplemented with a lot of attack speed and positioning, which is the key thing I think for Trill, is that his positioning in a lot of these fights that have started have been less than ideal for an AD carry to be in, especially if one is immobile as Varus.
Completely agree with you. We want to see whether Trill is going to be able to get that Ginsu soon, because if another team fight breaks out before then, there's not going to be much damage output coming in from this Varus, and you really do need that, especially since you went for the Blood Razor for Forever Hunter. He needs a couple more items before he's going to be truly scary, and he's only sitting on a Phage.
Yeah, and this will be possibly the first 5v5 fight that Boston University get to have where all of their ultimates are available and they'll be able to use them at the same time. And I think this is what I say, like, they want to win these team fights within the first 10 seconds where they get a kill using the Nocturne ulti and the Galio ulti in combination, and Varus ulti to sort of act as zoning potential. But Trill already kind of in an awkward position.
Already in an awkward position, got himself caught away, jump on coming in from Ty as well as Zagreus have a lot of poke, but the teleport's going to be completed. Here comes the Unstoppable Onslaught with that damage, with this movement speed from the Righteous Glory. They want to stop that heroic entrance. It's only going to be the knockup on the Scion. That's not the person you want to get, because they're going right onto the backline. They're taking out both pigs. They're making sure that they're gone out of the fight so they can jump on Trill into the backline. And Hazelnut, unfortunately, even with the dominance, can't do anything to stop everyone from the side of Becker running the team over.
And again, where was Trill walking to? He was walking in between and what seemed like into all of the Becker University's champions, and because he's forced to back off of that fight, it becomes a 4v5, and obviously without the Varus, there's not a whole lot of damage coming out from Boston University's comp. The Renekton, sure, he's got a good amount of, he's got the Black Cleaver, but that's not going to do a whole lot to the Scion and the Alistar, who's just standing there saying like, hey, say hello to Corki and Xayah behind me, destroying the Renekton.
There's a great call coming in from Becker. Spork making sure to teleport so that way Trill had to walk so far around, like you said, being cut off from his team because the positioning just not being there. They denied that potential 5v5 fight from happening, and Whammer had to use the ult onto Forever Hunter in an awkward situation where it only was going to connect onto Spork, and that is not the member you want to disengage from. You need to get rid of Zagreus and Wrinkle.
Yeah, the only thing that Galio ult did well was that it prevented the remaining 4 members of Becker University from walking in and dealing damage, but what it's also supposed to do is allow his team to be doing damage, but Trill was nowhere to be found. And
exactly.
I think that's a story right now where we're waiting on Trill to be in a position where he can actually do damage as his Varus. Once he's got his Guinsoo's Rage Blade, once he's got a 3rd item, he'll probably be able to start doing a lot of damage, but Becker University is looking probably to end his game before that even happens.
Another story to kind of talk about is Hazelnut Coffee has not had the impact on this Renekton that we wanted to see. Spork has been doing an excellent job on the Scion to constantly deny that pressure that normally gets drafted from a Renekton into the top lane, where it's Spork the one who makes the calls first, Spork the one who dictates how Hazelnut has to play.
Yeah, and with no Tiamat either for Hazelnut Coffee, I think never mind, Fight having a mid lane.
Fight going in, they want to get right onto Trill. You can tell that is the mark, but they're going to find Forever Hunter instead. Flashing away, teleport from Hazelnut Coffee is going to be into the back line, but that's not necessarily where he needs to be because he needs to be the one engaging in to Becker, who are already backing off.
And even though no one died on the side of Boston University, they still blew Nocturne's flash, and they got Hazelnut Coffee's teleport, all for what seemed like 3 ultimates there for Becker University. And this is what the Scion really does bring, is that now it looks like, when we're talking about, who's engaged is going to be the starting point for these fights, it was either between the Nocturne Galio or the Scion Corki. Looks like right now Becker University are saying, hey, our Scion is willing to go in first, and they don't really mind, because Whammer is the only one who can really frontline. You saw just there, Forever Hunter and Whammer were both together, getting caught out by the Scion ulti, but Forever Hunter almost died for it. He had to burn his flash to stay alive.
And this is smart from Becker. Use Spork constantly, because that Unstoppable Onslaught has a very low cooldown. In fact, it is almost already off of cooldown right now. The next time they want to look for a pick, they can rinse and repeat, and they can punish Forever Hunter.
Yeah, and at this point now, I really just want to see if Boston University are able to set up a position where they can do a proper front-to-back, because then Trill isn't getting jumped on by the entire members of Becker University. But Becker University are just like, hey, we have the pressure of the game. We're just trying to go for Baron right now, trying to stop us.
Trying to go for it. They're trying to bait in Boston because bot lane, Whammer's cut away from the team, does not have teleport just yet. Flash forward from Ty. He wants to get right on Unstoppable. Look at the damage coming in. The Heroic Engine's going to be a little bit too late with the Paranoia trying to go into the back line. It gets a little bit of damage, but instead they turn their attention right back onto the Nocturne. They're trying to see if they can zone away Whammer. Spork will lose his life. He's popped into the passive, and it's a great blade caller, but they still lose 2 members in the fight.
Yeah, and this is where we're talking about the 5v5 fight, the front-to-back that Boston University wants. The Varus isn't just getting jumped on and dies in the beginning of the fight. When it comes to a tank v tank matchup, and he's finally got his Guinsoo, he did shred Zinzao and eventually Scion. And when the front line is gone, the back line here, the Corki and the Xayah, they weren't able to really break down the somewhat bulky members of Galio, Nocturne, and Renekton, which is honestly kind of surprising. I was expecting the Corki with the Triforce and the Stormraze already completed, doing a little bit more damage.
He's doing a ton of damage, but the problem is it's so much delayed damage. It's not burst up front damage. He has to make sure that he's constantly whittling away at the health bars of Boston, which is why when we look at this competition, we were talking about the siege potential that they had. They tried to force a fight into that situation, which wasn't too bad. It looked like it was a great engage, but they forgot that Whammer was already rotating up towards them, that he was already going to be in range of that heroic entrance, so the fight was just delayed long enough for Boston to be able to turn it around.
Part of it also is the usage of the Xin Zhao, who, when they started the fight, he went in with the Audacious Charge and the ultimate going in as well, but while all that was going on, his team was still trying to catch up to him, and I think he might have maybe jumped the gun a little bit on that team fight, because all those precious seconds of when Xin Zhao is invulnerable or completely invulnerable and also knocking people around, all that was kind of wasted, allowing his team to catch up. Whereas, that's a while where their damage can happen.
Oh, Spork, look what he's found. He's found the bot lane of Boston once again with the package to blow up Unstoppable, and they flash into the back line with a decimating slash to be able to knock around and bounce around Hazelnut, giving a killing spree to Rankle, and look at that, Becker making the call. It's all on top of Spork.
Yeah, and Andrew again getting a perfect knock up there on both the Varus and what seemed to be the Nocturne, so which are the I think probably the highest damage dealers currently. And also again, Boston University getting caught out there with their pants so far down that they just weren't expecting Spork to be on the bottom side of the map.
There's the potential that they go for the steal. They wanted to. Forever Hunter in the area, but he decides not to go for the Paranoia, giving up the Baron to Becker. Becker doing a great job when it comes to pulling the trigger, constantly looking for these fights and knowing who the targets are. Yeah,
even though they lost the fight prior to this one, Boston University weren't able to really get anything out of it. Maybe a little bit less pressure, but immediately Becker says, "Hey, did you like when you were getting pressured by our team? Well, here it is again, because Spork is just ready to go whenever."
Well, and a good thing to keep in mind is the cooldowns. Heroic Entrance and Paranoia were used in that last fight that did win Boston, but it's a lower cooldown for the Unstoppable Onslaught on Spork. So all he has to do is wait a little bit. The moment it comes off cooldown, he's like, alright, rinse and repeat. We're going to find out Trill. We found Unstoppable. And then boom, they get the kills.
Yeah, and the longer this game goes on, the longer Spork is just going to be this, this really difficult to kill tank for Becker, because he's already built the Warmog's second item as well. And then also going for the Randuin's Omen, or if possibly even the Frozen Heart. Either one of them, negates a lot of Trill's damage, which is this on-hit, constant damage. But if this Scion doesn't get killed soon, this should like out-tank the entire team.
This is where it's going to be very difficult for the side of Boston. We talked about the siege potential, and here it is. Coming in from both Zagreus and Rankle. We already have the minions starting to slowly encroach into the territory of Boston. Look at top lane. That is a massive minion wave, and they've already gained control of the jungle of Boston.
Yeah, and now Boston has to be really careful with the rotations here, because if Trill or Unstoppable gets caught again, then that's going to be game. Becker's going to be able to just run through the turrets and just win the game off of that. But it looks like, and then also the wave clear, the Unstoppable and Whammer are right now probably the biggest sources on top of the Varus.
They're trying to go for the engage. They're trying to see if they can stop the siege. They go for the all-in into the backline. They found out the pick on Josiah, but unfortunately they weren't able to finalize anything because they were by Spork, who's doing an excellent job at keeping three members controlled of Boston. They lose Hazelnut, and the siege will continue.
It's pretty much the question is being asked of who can survive longer. Renekton and Nocturne into the backline of Becker, or Scion and Alistar facing the damage dealers of Boston University. And I think just based off the numbers, it looks like Scion and Alistar are a little tankier than the Renekton and the Nocturne, who both went in very, very closely. And I think a key thing there is that the Galio ulti didn't really knock up anyone important. The Galio, the Corki, and the Xayah were able to get out of there pretty much scot-free and not take any damage as a result of it.
So much self-heal with the Valkyrie, with Featherstorm, they can deny that engage tool from Whammer and Forever Hunter. It's excellently done by Becker. They find the top inhibitor turret, but they weren't able to crack open mid just yet.
Yeah, with these like double black cleavers as well for Hazelnut Coffee, it's no surprise to see Spork going for this heavy armor build. And kind of there's pretty much also no magic damage coming out from the side of Boston University. You have the Galio and the Karma, sure, but they're not really magic damage, like a lot of significant magic damage you see from, like, let's say, a Syndra or even a LeBlanc along those lines. And Varus is mostly adaptive. He's got some magic damage and some physical damage, but he's primarily an auto attacker. So, at this point, Spork is just saying, like I don't really care what stats I'm building. Like, no one's killing me anytime soon.
Exactly, and Trill has to get so close in order to get those blight stacks on people if he wants to be able to pop them, that suddenly you have Ty on you. Suddenly you have Alpha Andrew knocking you up, that Trill hasn't been able to have that impact on Varus in the mid game.
Additionally, Zagreus he's got his third item already, the Rapid Fire Cannon completed, and I wouldn't be surprised if he starts going for an IE now. I've never really seen the interaction between the new IE and his passive, but I'm not interested in seeing his magic damage now become true damage when he crits.
Probably going to be able to chunk everyone, especially even Whammer, which you don't really think of chunking out a Galio. But man, it's going to happen here very soon as the siege is going to continue, and for whatever reason, all 5 members of Boston are here, and this could actually be a potential for Spork to look for an engage.
Yeah, it's something that Boston University, I think, have tried to stay as close as possible now, because they're trying to make these fights more front to back as much as possible, and they're using the Nocturne and Galio as Oh, again!
Here comes the backline, and look at the knock-up onto Trip, and Unstoppable in the backline. They beautifully cut away the damage dealers of Boston, so that way they can easily clean up all of Boston. They rout them. They only have Unstoppable running for the hills back to the turret. They'll take down this tier 2.
Their positioning on Boston University was great while they were in lane. They had the melees in front, just being able to stop anything from happening, but then they walk into their own jungle and leave Trill and Unstoppable alone for the Scion to just run in and CC, most importantly, the Varus, who cannot get away. And honestly, at this point now, Boston University, they're probably going to lose, if not this inhibitor, at least this inhibitor.
At least the inhibitor, they got routed beautifully by Spork, pretty much baited in by Becker, where they said, come fight us in the jungle, we're all alone. Spork's cut away, and that left Trill and Unstoppable wide open for the Unstoppable Onslaught to be able to knock them up.
Yeah, and honestly now Becker University just has to start crossing their T's and dotting their I's, saying like, alright, we gotta get this objective when it comes up next. It should be a dragon in 55 seconds. The inhibitor there's 2 open inhibitors, it looks like, for Boston University. No, 1 open inhibitor in the mid-turret left available, but once the Baron spawns in a minute 20, that inhibitor most of the inhibitors should all be gone.
Work just gonna go clear out the top wave. This could be the setup coming in from Becker, where they have the minions already starting pressure into the top lane. They have an open inhibitor, like you said, Gyoza. So really, for Boston, they find themselves almost 10,000 gold behind, so about 9,500. Is there really a way that they can come back into this game?
Yeah, and again, it's mostly because the way that they've been starting these fights is using the Nocturne and the Galio to initiate, but that doesn't work for them anymore because Trill keeps getting caught out. We were saying how the Varus pick was what we were expecting in this lane because of how well it dominates that bottom lane, but the laning phase really just showed that, with My Name is Ty constantly ganking and providing pressure down there, that it negated that advantage they would have had.
Oh, and now Spork caught out, does have the Unstoppable Onslaught, but I don't think they want to use it. They just take over that second Infernal, so that way they have at least a little bit extra stats, while Spork had to get 5 members of Boston just to deal with them.
Now this is a little risky for Becker University because Scion was their primary tank, and only the Varus ulti was used on the side of Boston University, but there is such a massive wave coming down the bot side that I think Becker can still contest the Baron pretty safely.
In fact, I don't even think Boston can go and fight it themselves. They're forced to have Hazelnut clear out the super minions. That was a massive wave that was already built up in the bot lane, where it will be only a couple of seconds until Spork's back up. He has teleport. If they can find a pick onto Forever Hunter right here, this could be huge. They get the knock-up on the 2 members, but they have to be careful. They already bursted down Forever Hunter. What was that damage?
Boston University using the Scrying Orb to see that no one was in the Baron pit, but they saw the Xin Zhao coming in, they're like, oh, the rest of the team must be with him. No, Becker University just get him with that good old-fashioned death push, and this should be a free Baron for Becker University.
They're going to try to see if they can deny it on the side of Boston. They could look for the Miracle Steal. Winds of War doing a little bit. Here comes the arrow, but no, piercing arrow was just a little bit too late. Not able to get enough damage, and the second Baron of the game, Becker looking to end.
Forever Hunter back up in 14 seconds will probably be able to contest, or at least defend with his life, but it looks like Becker University now just needs to have Spork in front with Alpha Andrew and just start taking down these turrets. They have the minion wave, they have the damage, and they have the front line to do so. Does Boston University even have a chance to possibly get a kill off or possibly defend this?
They have to fight it because this is where Becker's going to just look for the end. They already have the open inhibitor in the top lane, so that's going to be all 3 inhibitors down, double super minions in every single lane. If they do not make a miracle fight right here, Becker are going to look to punch their ticket to DreamHack Atlanta.
This Nocturne pick was used to try to go dive into the backline with the Galio, which are doing it right now, but it's a little bit too little, too
trying
late.
To get on to the backline. They had to heal the spear, but actually able to get Franco in the backline. They get the shutdown onto Zagreus, but look at Ty. They found out Trill with Alpha. They got the knock up on us Unstoppable, and they are able to get the bot lane trade. Forever Hunter, can he get the pick? He does have a lot of damage, so that way they get down Xin Zhao, and they make the miracle fight happen.
Allow me to eat my own words the moment I say them. Forever Hunter and Whammer finally able to at least get a pick onto Rankle, who did not have her flash up, or have Zaya's flash up. And what we're saying, like, compared to Varus, obviously he's less mobile than Zaya, but aside from her ulti, Zaya's also not that mobile of an AD carry as well. She has a lot of usable utility to kind of self-peel herself, but when you're getting dived in by a Nocturne with a spell shield, and a Gallia who comes in from, from literally from above, it's pretty hard to try to deny that and prevent them from jumping onto you. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication there because it was pretty much front line versus back line for both these teams.
It was a beautifully well-fought battle from Boston, but right now, it's looking like that might be a little bit too late. The double super minions in every single lane are constantly shoving them in, and they're not going to be able to get a single thing onto the map. They're not even going to be able to get deep enough vision to be able to stop the onslaught coming in from Becker.
A little bit of a shining hope there for Boston University that because they're constantly getting pushed in by super minions, they're getting all the CS, while Becker really isn't, at the moment, can't really get CS because, aside from the jungle creeps. But at the same time, though, hopefully they can get enough money and just scrounge up the gold needed to get, third or fourth items here. One inhibitor has just respawned now, just so they will no longer be having, double super minions in every wave. But Becker University already have their sights on it.
Becker rotating down towards the bot lane. They're waiting for Zagreus. Once they're all grouped up, gotta imagine they go for the rinse repeat, try to go for the kills that they can on the Trill and Unstoppable like they have. That if Forever Hunter's able to take out Zagreus and Wrinkle again, this can keep delaying the game. Keep waiting until these inhibitors come back up, because that is what you have to pray for if you're Boston.
You also have to hope that Spork doesn't get so hard to kill. He's got the Gargoyle Stone Plate now, so he's gonna have, when he goes into the team of Boston University, he's gonna have just so much HP, close to 9k, actually no, almost 10k health when he uses that Gargoyle Stone Plate around 4 people. And now, thankfully, Boston University drafted this Varus, who's pretty good against, health stacking champions, but is it going to be enough?
We'll find out as this is going to be another siege onto this third inhibitor, the one that just spawned up in the bot lane, taken down pretty quickly. Here comes the jump into the back line, trying to get onto Zagreus. It's going to be a really good heroic entrance to knock up Ty, but he flashes away for now as Stopwatch had to be popped by Forever Hunter. Spork doing a great job at eating almost all the damage coming in from Boston. So that way Becker can stay in the battle. If he has Warlock, he'll be able to heal up really quick.
And my name is Ty, just barely surviving there with less than 200 HP, but I think a key thing there is the usage of the Galio ult with the Nocturne combination. The reason that this combination works so great with Camille is because the heroes that in this situation, Nocturne or Camille would be jumping onto would be staying in position. Whereas Corki and Xayah, they're somewhat able to get away from Nocturne far enough that the hero's entrance doesn't knock them up. And that's one of the key reasons that this Corki pick is so big, is that, he gets jumped on by Nocturne, you see the heroic entrance, Corki just Valkyries away, and the knockup doesn't hit the important targets there.
Ooh,
and that gives Boston University, it makes it really hard for them to actually secure the kills onto the backline. And now Becker University just trying to see if they can get a death push set up, but
well, Elder is about to spawn up, so they could be thinking that maybe on the side of Boston they want to contest this. They have superior vision. They've controlled the entire jungle of Boston. And the moment that Elder spawns up, they want to get onto this. They also have the package of Zagreus.
Right now, Zagreus still a little bit behind now if they want to get a fight started, but now Zagreus now in range to help fight for this. But there's minion waves coming into the base of Boston University. Can they really contest this? Spork is, with the Ravage's Glory, can start a fight whenever he wants.
Also, look at that. Super minions are trying to come into the base. They've already got a lot of damage on Nexus turret, so they're going to be able to take this Elder Drake completely uncontested on the side of Boston. They knew that they couldn't actually go for the fight.
And with 2 Infernal Drakes on the side of Becker, they're going to be doing so much damage.
They found Hunter. Look at the damage coming in from Zagreus. And with the Nocturne gone, that gets rid of the Galio delivery system. So Spork is like, I'm going right into you. I found you unstoppable. I'm going to zone you away. My team's going to march the minions into your base.
Without Forever Hunter to jump into the backline, there's no one who can really, activate this Galio heroic entrance quite as effectively. Maybe Hazelnut Coffee, but he's got a short-range dash as opposed to something that would go the entire way. Becker University should win off of this before Forever Hunter respawns.
They're jumping, double man knockup. They found out Whammer. That's the person they want to get rid of. He's bounced around for so long, he's never able to get the product entrance. Wanted to onto Hazelnut, and now the next search are going to be the focus together. On to Trill! Take out Trill! There goes your wave clear, there goes the team! Whammer doing the best he can with that taunt, but it's not going to be enough. It's way too late for Hazelnut to be able to be the hero that the team needs. They got the double kill, they got the root, they got the 8.